Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to the deep dive, where we plunge into your sources and pull out the most potent insights.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're diving into something truly game-changing for anyone aiming for, that C1 English level.
Yeah, it really is.
It's about evolving beyond simply speaking correctly to actually communicating effectively.
That's the core of it.
We're looking at a fascinating stack of material here that unpacks active listening, responsive speaking, and the subtle yet powerful art of tone and register.
And these aren't just nice to haves, are they?
Not at all.
Huh.
They're the invisible threads that weave together truly impactful communication.
Exactly. What the research in front of us consistently highlights is that, well, once you've got a good handle on the grammar and vocabulary,
Right.
your biggest leaps in a language often come from understanding the unspoken rules.
The hidden stuff.
Yeah, these hidden tools that fundamentally shape how your message lands, how it's received. So our mission today is to show you how to truly integrate these nuances, elevating your English from just proficient to genuinely exceptional.
Allowing you to connect on a much deeper level.
Precisely. The real C1 challenge isn't just speaking correctly, it's more like reprogramming your mental conversational habits to achieve that authentic connection.
That's a powerful way to frame it. Reprogramming habits. Because our sources really underscored that at a C1 level, conversations stop being a series of individual statements and start feeling much more like a collaborative dance.
A dance, I like that.
And here's where it gets truly transformative, I think. Many learners at maybe a B2 level, they might still be mentally translating or planning their next sentence while someone else is speaking.
Yeah, focused internally.
Exactly. They're essentially focused on their own steps in the dance. But a C1 speaker,
They're different.
they're adapting in real time, flowing with the conversation, truly reacting to their partner's movements.
It's that real-time adaptation. It's no longer just about speaking, it's about being deeply engaged in that dynamic exchange.
Right.
And that's the absolute core of active listening at this advanced stage.
Yeah.
We all kind of know what active listening is, right?
Sure are the basics.
But for a C1 speaker, the real breakthrough comes from overcoming those deeply ingrained habits you mentioned, the internal translation, the rehearsing replies.
Getting out of your own head.
Exactly. It's about being fully present, which means not just hearing the words, but really picking up on the speaker's tone, their underlying emotions, even their body language if you're face-to-face. The key, as our material emphasizes, is responding not just to what's said, but to the meaning behind those words.
The whole message.
Grasping the complete message, yes, spoken and unspoken.
Okay, so we're talking about being truly present. But how do we actually signal that presence, without interrupting awkwardly or making it feel forced?
That's a fantastic question.
Are there concrete techniques the sources highlight for making that engagement clear? Because it's one thing to be listening and another to show it effectively.
Absolutely. It's not enough to just be present. You have to demonstrate it. And this is where our sources really lean into reflective phrases.
Okay, reflective phrases, like what?
Well, these are short, powerful statements. Things like, "That's interesting, tell me more." Or maybe, "I hadn't thought of it that way." Or even a simple confirmation like, "So if I'm understanding you correctly."
Ah, I see.
These phrases serve this clever dual purpose. First, they give you just a brief moment to process, to formulate your own thoughts.
Buys you a second.
Right. And, crucially, they make the speaker feel genuinely heard and understood. They validate their contribution.
So it confirms you're tracking with them.
Exactly. And they're kind of your secret weapon against that internal translation trap you mentioned earlier.
I can see that. It gives you that beat to fully absorb before you jump in. Let's hear a quick example from our sources. This really brings the distinction to life. Highlights the leap from basic to C1.
Good idea.
Okay, imagine a basic exchange. Speaker A says, "I'm worried about finishing this project." The basic response from Speaker B might just be, "Okay," very minimal.
Right. Doesn't offer much.
Now, a C1 version transforms that dramatically. Speaker A again, "I'm worried about finishing this project."
And say one response.
Speaker B would say something like, "I can see why you'd feel that way. Is there something specific that's causing the delay?"
Big difference.
Consider the power of that shift. How does it fundamentally change the dynamic of the conversation?
Well, straight away, it shows empathy, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can see why.
And it invites more detail. Is there something specific? Keeps the conversation flowing.
Exactly. It opens a pathway to maybe finding a solution rather than just being a conversational dead end. It's an invitation to communicate further.
Absolutely. And building on that active listening, we naturally move to its essential counterpart, responsive speaking.
Okay.
This is where you reply with nuance, having truly absorbed what the other person said. It means choosing your words carefully, sometimes hedging.
Hedging, you mean like being cautious?
Yeah, using cautious, sort of softening language when you're unsure to avoid sounding too definitive or maybe even confrontational.
Got it.
And crucially, validating the other person's point or feeling before you might even disagree with them. It's about building a bridge, not a wall, in your conversation.
So it's not just about getting your point across, but how you craft that point in relation to what you've just heard.
Precisely. And it also means choosing words that align with the other person's emotional state, demonstrating that empathy we just talked about.
Right.
Consider this workplace example from the material. It illustrates this really well.
Okay.
A colleague says, "I'm not sure our proposal is strong enough."
Mm-hmm. A common concern.
A basic, maybe slightly unthinking response could be, "It's fine."
Which often feels dismissive.
Exactly. Doesn't really help anyone. But a C1 response would be something more like, "I understand your concern. Maybe you could revisit the introduction to make it more compelling. What do you think?"
See, that's collaborative.
Totally. You're building on what they said. You're acknowledging their doubt rather than just shutting down their concern.
You're inviting them into a shared problem-solving space.
That's it, making them feel heard and valued.
That's a real shift in approach. Another incredibly effective skill for responsive speaking, one that truly builds rapport and cements understanding, is paraphrasing.
Yes, paraphrasing is key.
It builds trust almost instantly, doesn't it? When you can restate someone's point in your own words to confirm your understanding.
Definitely.
Something like, okay, so if I'm understanding you correctly, you're suggesting we focus on customer feedback first, right? This simple act demonstrates you've not only heard them, but you've understood them, which is, well, a massive step in effective communication. It moves beyond just repeating to truly processing.
Let's see these skills in action with a quick mini dialogue. This comes straight from our sources, illustrating that textbook C1 responsiveness we've been discussing.
Great.
So you have Alex and Jamie. Alex says, "I'm feeling overwhelmed by all these deadlines." Jamie replies, "That sounds stressful. Which tasks are taking up the most time?" Notice the empathy and the request for detail first.
Showing that active listening. Yeah.
Alex says, "Mainly the client reports. They're so detailed."
Right.
Then Jamie says, "Got it. Maybe we could split the reporting work so you're not carrying the full load." So Jamie acknowledges the problem, then offers a collaborative solution.
Nice.
And Alex finishes, "That would be amazing. Thanks."
Jamie's response there is so instructive. He didn't just jump to giving advice or, dismissing Alex's feelings.
Immediate fix.
He acknowledged the feeling, asked for more detail, then offered a solution that showed understanding and support. It really highlights how these skills flow together seamlessly in a C1 conversation.
Precisely. It's about being a true partner in the conversation, not just waiting for your turn to speak.
Right. So we've talked about the give and take of a conversation, the listening, the responding. What does all of this mean when we expand beyond just that immediate exchange? Our sources introduce another critical layer of C1 mastery: tone and register.
Ah, yes. Tone and register. Crucial.
These are like these invisible tools that truly elevate your communication once, grammar and vocabulary aren't your main obstacles anymore.
Right. They move you from being technically correct to being socially astute.
Which is a huge leap.
It really is. If we connect this to the bigger picture, register is essentially about the level of formality. Are you being formal, neutral, or informal?
Okay.
And tone is more about the emotional flavor. Are you sounding friendly, serious, apologetic, persuasive? What's the feeling?
Got it.
At C1, you're expected to adjust these almost automatically, sort of instinctively. You stop sounding like a textbook.
And start sounding like
a real person who understands the social context of any interaction. It's about making your language fit the social environment, like a glove.
It's the difference between saying, "Would you be so kind as to assist me?"
Very formal.
And, "Hey, could you help me out?"
Much more casual.
Both are grammatically correct. Both convey the same basic request, but they fit completely different situations.
Totally different vibes.
So a key insight here, maybe the biggest takeaway for this section is always read the room.
Yes, read the room.
Matching your language, your register, your tone to the specific situation you're in is pretty much non-negotiable at C1.
This is so critical in everyday scenarios. For instance, think about an email to a manager. A C1 learner wouldn't just say, "I want the report."
A bit blunt.
Yeah, too direct, too informal for that context. They'd use a softer tone and a higher register. Maybe something like, I was wondering if you could send me the report at your earliest convenience.
Much more appropriate.
Conversely, if that same C1 learner is chatting with a close colleague, maybe in the break room, they might casually say, hey, could you send me that report when you get a sec? Informal, yet still perfectly polite and appropriate for that context.
So the context dictates the choice.
And C1 means you make that choice almost subconsciously. You just know.
And making requests is another prime example where tone and register make all the difference. Instead of a direct, do this, which can sound like a demand.
Yeah, nobody likes demands.
A C1 speaker would lean into more indirect, softening phrases like, would you mind doing this? Or, it'd be great if you could handle this.
Gentler approaches.
Think about this small but impactful shift. This is right from our sources. A basic request. Close the window.
Direct.
A C1 version, much more considerate. Could we maybe close the window? It's getting a bit chilly in here.
The maybe and the reason softens it right up.
Notice how that small linguistic adjustment completely transforms the social contract of the interaction?
It really does.
It shifts from an order to a suggestion. It invites collaboration rather than just obedience. That's a powerful tool to have.
Absolutely. And beyond just individual phrases, tone also matters hugely in your delivery.
How so?
Well, when presenting, for instance, a monotone voice can sound robotic, right? And quickly disengage your audience.
Puts people to sleep.
Exactly. So, varying your intonation, strategically stressing key words to highlight their importance, using well-timed pauses. These are essential C1 skills.
Adds life to it.
These elements add musicality and emphasis to your speech, making your message more impactful and your delivery sound far more natural and engaging.
That makes perfect sense. It's almost like learning a whole new social language, isn't it? These invisible tools really do carry immense weight.
They do.
And beyond individual words or phrases, C1 mastery also means adapting your entire linguistic toolkit to different social settings, which brings us to another really versatile skill highlighted in our sources. Code switching.
Code switching, yes. This means exactly what it sounds like. Shifting your linguistic style, your vocabulary choices, maybe even grammatical patterns depending on who you're speaking to.
Can you give an example?
Sure. You might naturally use more phrasal verbs, which tend to be more informal when you're chatting with friends.
Like hang out or figure out.
Exactly. But then you'd consciously switch to more formal, maybe Latinate verbs like convene or determine when writing a professional report or speaking in a formal business meeting.
So it's about having different linguistic outfits for different occasions.
That's a great way to put it. It shows you have a deep enough understanding of the language and its social functions to deploy different versions of yourself, linguistically speaking.
And we often overlook how tone can be used to, say, soften criticism.
Oh, definitely.
Or, conversely, to really enhance positive feedback instead of a blunt, potentially alienating, you're wrong.
Which shuts down conversation.
Right. A C1 approach might be, I see your point, but I'm not entirely sure I agree. Or maybe, perhaps we could look at it another way. It keeps the conversation open, respectful.
Much more constructive.
And for positive feedback, being specific makes it so much more meaningful. Instead of just a generic, nice job, try something like, your summary was really clear and persuasive. I especially liked how you supported your argument with that data.
Specificity shows you're actually paying attention and genuinely appreciate it.
Let's look at another dialogue quickly to see tone and register expertly deployed. This shows how these invisible tools work together in a professional setting. Scenario. A project debrief between a manager, let's call him David, and a team member, Alina.
Got it.
David starts. Alina, your presentation was insightful. I particularly appreciated the way you handled the Q&A.
Nice, positive, specific feedback there.
Alina replies, thanks, David. I tried to anticipate their questions beforehand. Professional acknowledgement.
Good.
Then David says, one small point. We might want to streamline the opening slides for next time.
Notice the softening. One small point we might want to. Very collaborative.
Exactly. Elena responds, absolutely. Would you prefer I draft a revised version this week?
Proactive, takes initiative, uses a formal request structure. Very C1.
David says, that would be great. Let's compare notes on Thursday. Positive confirmation. And Elena finishes, sounds like a plan. Informal, yet still professional agreement. Closes it nicely.
That dialogue beautifully illustrates these concepts working together.
Yeah, it really does. What's one key takeaway from David's approach to criticism and Elena's response that truly elevates it to C1 mastery? What really stands out?
I think it's that collaborative spirit you pointed out. David softens the feedback using, we might want to streamline, instead of more direct, you need to fix this, immediately making it a shared objective, not a personal failing.
Right, it's about the work, not the person.
And Elena's initiative with, would you prefer I draft a revised version? It demonstrates not just competence, but a really keen understanding of professional decorum and proactive problem solving.
Yeah, she's not just waiting to be told what to do.
Exactly. It's about preserving relationships while still achieving objectives. That's really a hallmark of C1 professional communication.
So what does all of this mean for you, our listener, striving for C1 mastery? It means communication at this level isn't just about the words you use, is it?
Not at all.
It's the art of connection, how deeply you engage with others, and how appropriately you present yourself and your message in any given situation.
It's making sure your message isn't just heard, but truly lands with impact and the intention you want it.
Okay, so how can people practice this?
Well, to help you practice and really integrate these skills, our compiled research offers a highly actionable challenge. 2 parts.
Let's hear it.
First, for active listening. Make a conscious effort to pause before responding. Really listen to understand, then try to reflect or paraphrase what you heard before adding your own response or question.
Okay, pause, reflect, then respond.
Yeah. And if you're practicing alone, use English podcasts or interviews. Listen to a short section, pause it, and paraphrase out loud what you just heard. This builds that internal processing muscle, helps break those old habits.
Good tip. And the second part?
Second, for tone and register. Record yourself. Give the same message, maybe a simple request or opinion, in 3 different registers: formal, neutral, and informal.
Oh, interesting.
Then listen back. Pay close attention to how your tone shifts, how your intonation changes, and crucially, how natural your delivery sounds in each register. This deliberate practice rapidly builds your awareness and flexibility.
That sounds like a really practical exercise.
It makes a big difference.
So remember, the hallmark of C1 isn't just speaking beautifully, it's connecting deeply. These skills allow you to navigate any conversation, any social context, with confidence, genuine understanding, and a powerful ability to adapt.
And what's truly illuminating here is that mastering these quote-unquote soft communication skills isn't just about sounding more fluent. It's really about building stronger relationships, making a greater impact in both your personal and professional life, and truly being understood, properly understood in any context you find yourself in. So for you, our listener, the challenge isn't just to learn the words. Maybe it's about mastering the music of the conversation.
The music of the conversation, I like that.
So think about this. How might adopting just one of these techniques, maybe pausing and paraphrasing, or consciously choosing your register, how might that transform your next important interaction?
Something to really consider. Keep practicing, stay curious.
And keep building your fluent mind.